Hey everybody, before you say anything, before I even get in this video, Brandon and I are not experts. We don't know everything we're doing. And at some point, everybody starts. And I'm not saying we did it wrong, but everybody's going to have a nitpick thing that we did, a little off than they would do it. So, comment whatever you feel free to comment. But, if you're just going to say negative stuff, you can hit the road. But that being said, guys, enjoy the video. I'm Mojo, and let's get into it, guys. I don't waste any time. Long video. What you want to do is you want to drop your cat back. Right there, we're going to loosen those bolts, drop it down, take it off the hangers down here, and then pull the exhaust out. We got the cat back off. We had an exhaust hanger actually snapped off. It was so rusted. So these, we had to use a screwdriver to get off, and then this one on the passenger side, there's 2 bolts, so we just took those off. And you'll get off these exhaust hangers, drop the whole cat back, and we're on to the next thing. So the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna spray these bolts down with PV Blaster, the lower strut mount bolts, and that's on both sides. And then next you're gonna go to your drive shaft where it meets your diff, which is right here. And you're gonna have a buddy rotate one wheel, or you can rotate it, and spray these down with PV Blaster where it meets the diff, rotate it, and as it goes around, spray it with PV Blaster. And then next we're going to go on we are going to release the e-brake. So you're going to have to take out these bolts right here, and we're going to get to this part right here. Next thing we did, we were going to release your e-brake cables. They're on through here. It's exactly like a throttle cable, so you'll see that. It'll line in through there. You put it up with it, and you turn it out. Now we're back on your car. So next you're going to go to your drive shaft, and you're going to have your 14 millimeter wrench, and then we have an impact, and you're going to have one person, or just with both your hands, hook up your impact right here. We got 2 people, so it makes it a lot easier. We might have to turn it back a little bit. There we go, just like that. Take out each drive shaft bolt, just like that. And like I said, it's 12 over here, 14 on this side, and you keep turning the wheels until you drop all the bolts off the drive shaft. Next, you're going to go onto your carrier bearing, and as you can see, we're just making our way down from the back of the car to right here. And you're going to spray these down with PV Blaster. There's one on each side. It's 14 millimeter, and whatever side the bushings go on, make sure they go back as soon as the same way you got them off, because it matters what side, how they go in. So we're going to do that and get back to you guys. Your strut mount bolts lower back here, so we're going to hit these really quick. 17 millimeter. No problems for the most part. On to the next thing. Hey guys, what we are doing next, we are going to try to loosen these up, but the problem is they're so rusted that they won't loosen. So we're trying to figure out where we cut them and plug them, whether it's plugging them here or plugging them up in the front. If they plug them in the front, we're just going to cut it here and just move on, but this is the next thing we have to do. It's either just get these off, get these removed from right here. So what Brandon is doing, he's taking off the clips. He's taking the clips off for the line guards so we can follow the lines all the way up to the front rack and plug the lines. But next we're going to cut these. There's two right here, these big fat ones over here, obviously. And what I'm doing, we're going to disconnect these, and we got a pan right here. Disconnect these and let it drain out. That's what we're doing now. All right, so you're going to look at this. This is where the guard was. You get all the clips off and it'll just slide back just like that. And we're going to cut the lines for the power steering. Obviously, it's these two back here. These two. Sorry for the bad quality. Just trying to get them showing you is difficult. But there's two lines. We're going to cut those, drain them into this. And once they're done draining, we're going to move on to the next step. Doing right now is the subframe type deal going on. It comes all the way across. We got to take this off. We need to access the front steering rack so that these lines right here that go all the way to the back, we can disconnect them and then plug them off. So we're going to do that. Alright guys, so we tighten this up 19 millimeter. Make sure you use Teflon tape, avoid all leaks as possible. As you can see, this is a front steering rack, obviously. And here's your transfer case. Make our way to the other lines over here, the power steering lines for the rear. And we are trying to find where this ties into the front rack. And we are going to seal that off just like we did with that one. And then start tearing down. Plugs are going to look like you all have two plugs. I can't stress enough to use the Teflon tape. That needs to happen. So got those two plugged. This is the three-way right here. It comes to a T. That gets plugged, and then the passenger side, you'll see that needs plugged too. Just trying to go in full detail for you guys. All right, guys, so before we get any farther, the lines that go on the driver's side loop up, and they actually come up through here and go straight to the reservoir. And no other video on YouTube actually showed what to do here, so we'll be the first, I guess. So this line right here, we have to loop it to the bottom of the reservoir with one of these hoses. Basically, we'll just cut one and we'll loop it around, use the clamps. And yeah, how to do this, you want to pull your cruise control, your vacuum pump for your cruise control, and there's two bolts right here you pull up. And we disconnected this hose just because it made it easier and more mobile. But yeah, this one right here and the one underneath of it, we will loop together, and that will basically make a blockage or a recirculation for the power steering fluid, and basically is what we need to do to delete the rear steering. Alright guys, so we just about spent 3 hours getting these lines out. This will be your driver's side lines right here, and I'm not joking. This is by far the hardest part of the entire project, because from now on it's just dropping the rear end, yada yada yada. But literally getting these lines out took us 3 hours. We had to pull everything out here. And once we got the reservoir out, the lines, were wiggle, but we had to actually cut them, pound them down, cut them with the grinder, pound on them until at some point they just came out. So I hope you guys can learn something out of this video, so that this is not like, a quick day job. I mean, if you need to have two people to get this done and they have to know what they're doing, this isn't just something that you can just do. But anyway, that's where we're at right now. And next we're going to put all this back together. And this is what we're going to do next. So we're going to loop this one right here. We're going to loop it right there. Basically loop it together. And we're going to get a nice clamp right here and lock it down. And basically it just recirculates it. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do next. Alright guys, so next you got the whole front end done. We're going to make our way back to the rear end. And these are your brake lines. It's 10 millimeter. You're going to need some needle nose and a flare nut wrench. It has to be flare nut. These cars are 26 years old, 20 plus years old. So you want to make sure you're not stripping these out. So yeah, make sure on the other side. We're going to get this off. And then we're going to take this clip out right here, and then you'll be ready to drop this down, and then you'll be ready to drop the rear end. All right, everybody. And straight ahead, that's the back of the car. You're gonna come up, follow these lines right here. This will be for your e-brake, all right? You're gonna wanna pull these through before you drop anything, because if you drop them, you know, you could risk breaking something. Sorry for the bad angles, I'm just trying to get you guys, showing you everything. So make sure you disconnect your e-brake cables, and then we're ready to unbolt these right here on each side, and then right there, and then we're getting ready to drop the rear end. All right guys, so we just dropped the drive shaft. So there's two carrier bearings, one right where those two bolts are, and then another one right here. So what you do is we're actually cleaning and gonna sand down the whole undercarriage of the car, so that's why we're dropping everything. But we dropped the drive shaft. You're gonna want to, you know, take off all 4 bolts, and it'll pull out from right here. That's your transfer case. It'll literally pull right out. So that's what we did, guys. Back with terrible angles, but we are under the car. This is the passenger side. You're gonna have to drop about 6 bolts. Anyway, we're starting here. We dropped them from right here. You need to focus right here, and the same thing on the other side. And then we are going to take off that bolt right there. Riley, you want to point to that bolt? We're gonna take that off. We'll take off that nut, and then the rear end should start to drip a little bit, and then we're gonna take off the rear ones. So we'll get right into that. 2 in the back, and then we got the jack centered already, just in case it wants to fall a little bit. And then after that, the whole rear is gonna come down, and then you'll be able to start taking it apart. All right, everybody. Here is one of the rear nuts that you're taking off. One over here, and one on that side. And then make sure you have your jack ready, right on your diff, and then it'll be ready to come down. All right, guys, so we just got this dropped. As you can see, it's on the ground, and what we're gonna actually do, he bought coilovers, so we're gonna pull over the back struts, and then we're just gonna pull it out this way. It would be easier to roll it out, but in this case, we're really close to the wall, and you know, we don't have a lift, so it's gonna hit right here. So what we're just gonna do, we're gonna pull it out, and then we'll have it out and ready to. All right, guys. So we got it out. As you can see, here's the whole rear end. And long story short, what we did was probably one of the hardest ways to do it. But considering, you know, how much space we have and everything, we had to do this. We actually took off a wheel. We have 3 people, so we took off a wheel. I held up this side, and they pulled it through while I was on a creeper, and got it through. Put a wheel back on. But anyway, we got this off, and next we're going to start taking off pretty much every single line you see right here comes out. It's from the power steering rack, and right on top of the diff, everything will come out. Alright guys, so this is the next morning. We went ahead and just flipped over the entire rear end. So now the power steering rack is pointed towards the bottom. So we can take off these bolts right here. There's 2 on each side. We already took off the 4 bolts on the other side. So we're gonna pop this off, and then we're just gonna start taking off we're taking apart the entire rear end because we're gonna clean up and paint it. You know, while we got it off, we might as well do it right. So the best way to get these off is actually there's a 14mm slot right here. while somebody does the drill right here, impact it off. Otherwise your ball joint, or this joint right here, will just spin and spin and spin. So you want to hold it with the 14, get it off with the impact or ratchet, whatever you're using. Alright guys, so this is a rear powered steering pump, as I was just informed, and it's obviously your differential, and there's one bolt holding this in. We're gonna take it off and put some RTV around the hole that's covering it, and then we're gonna pop in the freeze plug, and then that's when we're gonna clean up the diff. Alright guys, so we actually have the pump off. So what we did was the good old hammer and pry bar method. You just gotta bang it around until it comes off. It'll come off. It's got an O-ring, so we're gonna show you guys. There's that, and that is gonna be completely eliminated. And there's inside your diff right there, if you guys wanna. So we're gonna seal this up with some RTV. We're gonna clean it up with probably a little bit of alcohol right here. So we got a clean surface. Put some RTV on it, and you hammer on the freeze plug. Alright, so now we're going to work our way onto the control arms. This is, take a look at the subframe. This is basically upside down right now. So you're going to take your control arm from here, and then you'll do it to this one right here. And they're basically the ends, the same concept as like a tie rod. You'll loosen it, and then you use the nut to hold it into place. So we're going to do that and then come back at you. Alright, so the under portion, or technically the top, is assembled. You will have to do your sway bar before you do the control arms. We figured that out the hard way. And bolt sizes, these are 12s. These are with the kit are 20s, and there's a nut and bolt on this one. With the sway bar links, those are not OEM, but same thing. They are 13s millimeter, and then that's basically it. We're gonna flip it. The e-brake cable is 12, by the way, and then we're gonna flip it and then move on.
Younger music.
Alright guys, so update, we just got the subframe bolted in, the 6 bolts, and it's hanging right now just because we haven't put suspension. Brandon over there, we got some coilovers for the VR-4. We're going to install those. I'll make a separate video for that. So, alright guys, if you got all the way to this point, I really appreciate you. And guys, we're almost at 200 subscribers. I remember just starting, getting rotors, and now I'm rebuilding engines and shit like that. So I really appreciate you guys more than you know. All your likes, even your negative comments, I appreciate. So feel free to comment how you feel down below, or give me and Brandon some constructive criticism instead of just knocking us and bluntly throwing out something. Try to help us out, guys. We're not perfect. But that being said, thank you for watching the video, and stay tuned for the next video, guys. Should be coming out in the next week. Started rebuilding on Maisie, or I started tearing down Maisie. So stay tuned for that next video, and appreciate you guys. Have a good one.